What's up, people? I'm Alex.
And I'm Topsy.
And we're Sync the Beat Podcast. And today we have a very special guest with us. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes. My name is Manny from the PCS Podcast, and I'm really happy to be here.
Woo! Us doing a crossover episode.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
That's exciting. And we chose this topic, especially with you in mind. We are delving into the world of film and TV, and we're going to be discussing how music affects how songs do on the charts. We're going to be looking at how music moves storylines as well. And we're really going to chop it up.
And just overall the impact of music to heighten TV, to heighten film, to even heighten theatre. You know what? We have an expert with us, obviously from his own podcast. Can you tell us the name of our podcast and what you do as well, please, Manny?
The name of the podcast is Post-Credit Scene Podcast. We're a film TV podcast that we're a lover of film, TV and theatre, essentially. We mainly talk about what films and TV shows that we watched recently. And me, always on the pod talking about theatre shows because that's my bag. I love going to shows. Love talking about acting, love talking about performances, love talking about stories in general. And just like the importance of it, because I feel like art in general is the most important thing as human can offer to the world, and we can offer to each other in whatever element that is, whether that be through music, through acting, through writing, so on and so forth. And to be able to talk about a particular sector, a particular area of the arts is great to do, and just enjoy doing it.
And you know what? I actually enjoy watching all TikToks. Enjoy watching Gaz.
Gaz, yeah.
Gaz has TikToks as well, because it's weird. I'm in the industry, but I don't really watch stuff unless I'm forced to, or unless something stands out to me. And I'm like, oh, I need to watch it. Or there's certain actors that I know and I like, and I'm like, okay, let me watch it. Or I read reviews before I watch something. Yeah. So having you guys on our TikTok following, I always scroll through all your like reviews and stuff, and I'm like, oh, this is good because now I want to watch it. Whereas before, I would have just been looking at my ceiling or just scrolling on TikTok, or do you know what I mean? Not actually watching something that you guys have bigged up. So props to you.
I like that you're very articulate. So you not the game, articulate. So you really like analyze shows. You don't just say, oh, this show was good because I like the storyline. You'll say the storyline was shit, but the acting was good, or X and Y was good. So you give like pros and cons, and it's a very like well balanced review. It's not like all these food reviews. Yeah, go to this restaurant, it's amazing, and then you go and it's shit.
Yeah.
So you kind of give like a good explanation. So going into the show, you kind of know what to expect. And sometimes we may agree with you, sometimes we may not agree with you, but I think it's a well-rounded, concise review.
Thank you.
Yeah, keep it up, man.
I enjoy it. How did you guys start off?
So, I told the story so many times. Me and guys, that's my broski. We always talk about film and TV all the time. We kept joking about for years, saying that we should make a podcast. And then Hus, who has 14HQ, co-founder of 14HQ, which was a magazine that had like sports, film, TV, and so on and so forth within that magazine. And he had like a studio as well that he was working in, and I suggested to him that me and guys want to start a podcast, want to do it on your dime, want to do it underneath 14HQ. I sent him a very long voice note and he replied saying that it's so funny. I'm literally just having a conversation with Jason, who's one of his friends. At the time I've met, we were talking about having a podcast. We might as well do it together to do a film and TV podcast, and that's how essentially Post-Credit Scene started. It was the four of us. We started off, and funny thing, when I mentioned to you guys earlier, when I listened to you guys' first episode to your most recent episode, and just how much of a progress it is, and it was similar with us with Post-Credit Scene. It's like even though we're friends and we love talking about film and TV, it can be awkward for the first time doing it, because now you're doing it on the mic, now you're more aware of the cameras, you're more aware of trying not to sound stupid, trying to actually get your point across, and trying to make it sense for other people, because you're not just talking to your friend now, you're also talking to other people, and the level of comfortability that came with doing it consistently week in, week out, and comparing now to what how we did it like 3 years ago, it is completely different. And I liked the fact that we've seen the progress the same way that I saw the progress of you guys from the first episode into the latest one. It was actually really nice listen. But yeah, that's how the podcast started. We're like 3 years and a bit in.
Do you have a fifth member?
Oh, shout out to Bisola, my fucking jigger.
Yeah, she's in the centre of the artwork,
Yeah.
isn't
She joined us like a year and a bit ago. If you let her tell her, she'll tell you that she changed our lives. That's completely false. We changed her life. But big up Bisola. Sorry, I forgot to mention her. That's my jigger. Yeah, she joined. Breath of fresh air, man. She's such a. You know what? She would love to come on here. She will love it. I'll tell her to come on here, and she'll actually love it.
Lovely.
Yeah, we'll love to have her.
Yeah, I think you guys will love Bisola too. She's a great human being. But yeah, man, that's how the pod started.
Nice. I like that story, the origin story.
Well, and you had Lashana Lynch.
Yeah.
On your podcast.
Yeah.
How? Did you reach out to her or?
So, like back in July, we were doing a live show. So reaching out to all these different companies and all these different actors to have as a guest on the show. We reached out to Lashana Lynch's representatives and they said, yeah, that's fine. She can come on your live show.
Wow.
But then they said that, she can't do it right now, but she has a show coming out in October, which was the Day of the Jackal. Would you be able to do a junket or interview with her then? That's like, yeah, cool. We've done a few junkets and interviews before. But on the way there, or I can't remember if it was on the way there or the conversations I had before, because unfortunately I wasn't able to make it. I had to go to I know, heartbroken. I had to go to Flippin' Southampton. But we had a conversation with them. I say it was us, and essentially said, we're going to make it into a podcast episode. And then guys, Hus and Bisola essentially had a podcast episode with Lashana Lynch, flipping wavy. The episode is great. As always, them lot do a great job. Them lot are great at talking about film and TV. And again, it's great to have like such a, like, we have the the privilege or the blessing of having 5 of us to do it. So not all of us have to be there at the same time. There's been many times we've done podcast episodes with only 3 members or sometimes 2 members and having a guest on. So that's a privilege and great to do.
Well, that's good.
That's a cool format.
Yeah, it really is.
Maybe one day I should not be here. You do it on your own.
Well, I'll find a new co-host.
No, as in we can rotate.
Oh.
Like when you were sick, when we did Ola's episode.
Yeah, I should have stayed at home.
Yeah, but it's okay. Like,
listen, we got to do what we got to do.
almost 1 year in, baby.
Jeez.
Okay.
Are you guys going to celebrate your first year?
Well, it's still
if you say it, we have to do it.
Well, we're in a we've been saying it though.
We want to do a live show.
Jeez. You're going to do a live show.
We're going to do a live show.
It's just timing.
Yeah, of course.
And just bring it to an audience. We went to Discord. Have you heard of Discord? It's an event.
No.
Discord, right?
I think you'd like it. You know,
you would. You would go to the Kendrick one.
Yeah. Oh, that's the next. Did they say that's the next one?
That's
yeah.
the next one.
Oh, is this what's his name?
Daniel.
Yeah.
My friend sent it to me the other day to go to it for Good Kid, My City, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I might go.
Okay.
Go. You love it.
You will be up there arguing with them. Like, it's like people get proper like invested.
Do you know what? I wouldn't be arguing because I get really passionate.
Good. Yeah. That's what they want.
I can't do that with strangers.
No.
I promise you'll be fine. You'll be fine. There's liquor there. Drink the liquor, you'll be fine.
There's food. But I think like because it's a thing for music lovers. For music lovers, by music lovers.
Yeah.
So everyone going there is a music lover. So whether you know each other or you don't know each other,
you just there to appreciate the music.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing we came away saying. The environment was just very like wholesome.
Wholesome.
Whose album did you guys go listen to?
We went for girl bands versus boy bands.
Ah. Yeah.
Oh.
And that was very
What's your favorite boy band and girl band? Can't think about it, just answer.
From the UK?
You're going to say Spice Girls.
No,
Little Mix. Little Mix.
Oh yeah.
How do you know me more than you?
It's a little mixer.
I'm a mixer.
There you go.
Every day.
Come on. I'm going to replace you on this pod.
Yes.
It's true. You find your new co-host. I'll go to post-credit scene.
Yours is to Saturdays.
No. What are you talking about?
Sugar Babes?
No, it's not Flow.
I like the Sugar Babes. I like Flo. Do you know what? I don't think I have a favourite. I just like everyone.
Man.
Who do you like the most though? Out of everyone?
I like Flo.
Yeah, I thought you would have said that.
Flo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually,
no. Atomic Kitten.
Get out. Get out.
Would you say Flo or Pop? I don't listen to enough of them.
They're like R&B pop.
Okay.
Popular
Yeah.
R&B.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Because I feel like, okay, someone's like neo soul. To me, that's R&B, but not pop. If that makes sense.
yeah, it's on. Yeah,
It's just a
like
different
alternative.
genre.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
I wouldn't call it pop. Like,
Yeah,
Sade is neo soul, right?
She's
Yeah.
very
I
new.
wouldn't-
So.
wouldn't
Yeah,
not
but
say
I would
she's-
say Flow is still R&B, but it's like popular R&B.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. But do you know what? I recommend listening to their album Access All Areas from
Heard it's
top
good.
to bottom. It's just very old school R&B with a 21st century kind of spin on it of what we know and how we digest music as well. And also Emanike producer, who's incredible in his own right.
He's a great writer.
He's a genius.
He's a great writer.
And producer. Just a genius. I mean, he worked with Beyonce.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk about her today because Topsy will have a fight with me.
No, the internet will come about me. I want us to talk about what we're here to talk about.
Sure.
Come on, segue.
Wait.
Oh, Jesus Christ. She tried.
I tried.
She tried. Okay, Manny, your turn.
No.
Do the battle cry.
I'm so sorry, no.
Unless you've been living under a rock, Wicked,
Jeez.
the musical,
Yes, sir.
came out this year, starring our good sis.
film.
The film. The musical film?
The musical film.
Starring our good sis, Ariana Grande, and
sir.
Cynthia Erivo.
Mhm.
Woo!
Jonathan Bailey
but-
and Michelle Yeoh and Jeff Goldblum.
Not you knowing the whole cast.
Yeah, and Ethan Slater. You've got listen.
Yeah.
This is, look, I bet he's. Are you impressed?
Oh, very much so.
Thank you so
very
much.
so. I'm impressed, but not surprised.
Oh.
I'm impressed, but not surprised.
Tuss. But listen, but even before we start, we'll started already. I think that Ariana Grande obviously smashed it out the park,
Yeah.
but surprised a lot of people.
Oh,
I wasn't surprised.
I'm one of them.
I wasn't
Why?
surprised.
She
I was
came
really
from Victoria. She was brilliant in
Sam
Victorious.
and Cat, like she put like Sam
that
and
show was rubbish.
but on Victorious, well, she played the same character on Sam and Cat.
Yeah.
But her, if you see the character she played, it was like this ditzy little like girl.
So I've seen her in Victoria many times because I think I've had that play in the background many times. And obviously, I know I just didn't find her that funny.
Yeah, but she can act.
Fair enough.
I know she can act, but there's a level of charm I didn't expect that much of her. Like, don't get me wrong, I knew she was good. I didn't know that she was. I didn't
That
know
good.
I was gonna love it this much. I didn't know I was gonna love it this much. Like I could have said, oh, she'll give me like a 7 out of 10. She gave me a 9.5.
But the thing is, if you watch her music videos as well, she's acting in them. Like,
Oh,
yeah.
her music videos are very extensive. I knew she could do it.
She's always been an actress, though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And people forget.
We forget.
That. And she's loved musicals since she was a little girl. She's seen
Yeah.
Wicked when she was like 7.
Yeah.
She always
She
talks
met
about it.
the original
Galinda.
Galinda.
Yeah.
Kristen Chenoweth.
Yeah.
She's always spoken about it and always tweeted about it. And even when she's doing BTS of her music video, she's singing Wicked. If she's on live, she's singing something from Wicked. So for me, I'm not surprised that she did a brilliant job because she was destined for this role.
When people say manifest your dreams,
Yeah,
this is
she's
what
definitely one
they're
of them.
talking about.
Uh-huh.
Manifestation. Now I believe it. I believe it's real. Because as big as she is, like she is Ariana Grande, she still has to go through the audition process like everybody else. It wasn't handed to her.
Amanda Seyfried. Seyfried. How do you say her surname?
Seyfried.
Is it Seyfried?
Seafried. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, one of those.
I don't see her as Galinda.
I don't think she has good vocals. That's it, just good.
Good.
You don't need good for Glinda. You need amazing.
Yeah.
To hit those Galinda notes,
Jesus Christ.
Sometimes it's not even the notes, it's just the way that she adjusts her voice. Like, for example, like Popular, there's moments in Popular where it's not like singing. It's just like, again, there's a charm to it
Yeah.
that I didn't expect it, but I will never underestimate
do you know
it.
she already made a song that sampled Popular
On her
What's
first
years ago?
album
Yeah.
with Micah.
Yeah.
I know like
Mika.
5 Ariana Grande songs.
Really?
If that.
Oh, it's a
Oh,
good
wow.
song. Go home and
Did
listen
you
to
like it? I didn't like it.
Popular.
It was alright.
And then I like how it transitioned. I liked it.
It was alright. It was from her first album.
Yeah,
So
it's catchy.
destined to play this role.
By the way, I don't know anybody that loves pop music as much as you two. I don't think I do.
I love it more than she does.
He's a pophead.
This is a R&B girl. This is a I'm a piano warrior.
But even her knowledge of pop is a lot better than most people don't know.
No, it's true. It is.
Again, when I was listening to you guys' pod, it's like, huh, you guys actually know. Because I messaged Tops the other day. It's like, oh, if you guys haven't already done the structure for this episode, it's like, I wouldn't mind talking about early 2000s pop music in comparison to now, because I don't listen to pop music now, and I feel like you guys will have some great insights.
Don't worry, we'll get you on again.
Oh,
we can talk about it
back multiple times.
Yeah, and bring your girl as well, Absola. Bring her, Absola, bring her too. We can have a good old kiki about old school pop music.
Yeah, sure, love it.
But yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised that she smashed that out of the park, and acting through songs, she acted her ass through that role. And obviously people are like, the fans were like, oh, Ariana is a shapeshifter. In every era she adapts to something, like Black Rihanna, where she was very black, and then there was the Latin Ariana, and now
not Black Rihanna.
Black Rihanna.
Have you seen the videos where she actually talks like
a black girl, like from the hood?
But also, we forget that she used to date rappers.
That is very true.
Her and Big Sean were together for a long time.
I loved them together.
And Mac Miller.
She was with Big Sean.
Yeah, for years.
Yeah. You know her music video there.
Because when they were together, that was when she was trying to do sexy, and people were confused because she just left TV being like a high school student. So everyone was like, Yeah.
Okay.
She's been about that life. But now she speaks very, very much like Galinda. And she said something very important in one of the interviews. She was saying, first, let's hold space. Nothing. I'm gonna cry now.
Everybody was so confused.
I don't understand what
they
that
didn't
was
even
about.
understand.
Fuck me. Have you seen the clip?
Yeah.
What is she on about?
I've seen the clip of them talking about it afterwards as well. So like, I didn't know what was going on.
She's like, I just wanted to be a part of this moment.
And I could see that.
So, what was I even talking about? I've got to.
She can,
yeah. So she said something in an interview recently where she was like, what do you expect? I've thrown my whole life into this role we've been filming it for a couple years. Of course I'm going to sound different because it's become her personality. It's like method acting. You've completely shifted your personality, and it obviously she will change after the film. Both films are out, but I think the fans need to relax a bit. They don't understand what actors and singers and any creative goes through to create the creative outlet.
No, like when you see people before they go on show, like it's like they retreat and it's like they put on the persona. So then when they go out on stage, they're not themselves. They're the act.
They have to live it. So for example, like Austin Butler went through something similar. He done a role for Elvis Presley, and he changed his voice. And then after, I think it took him like 3 years for his voice to go back to normal. Because he was even having interviews, still do like for other films, still talking in that accent of Elvis. And I guess it's just like how much of themselves they put into these roles. It's hard for them to just come back right away. But yeah,
exactly. I actually didn't do my research. Did any of the songs from Wicked chart?
Yes, they did.
Yeah, they did.
I've written them down. So I can only tell you about Defying Gravity. I know the other songs charted. I think there was about 5 songs that charted on the US Billboard charts. Loads of them did actually. But take a guess. Where do you think Defying Gravity charted in the UK first?
UK's Bad Mind.
You said number 1.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think it. I think maybe like 3.
Okay. Charted number 7.
7. Yeah, UK's Bad Vibes. Was your popular chart higher?
No.
Was you
Defying Gravity was the highest? Yeah.
In the UK?
Defying Gravity was the highest.
I think it went to number 1 though in the US.
No, it didn't. It went to number 44.
In the US? You're joking.
Was it the highest in the US as well?
Let me double check. But it charted number 44.
It's kind of brazy. Is that your favorite song from the musical? Not musical, from the film, sorry.
Part 1, you mean, or just like the musical as a whole?
Sorry, just the part 1 film.
Yeah.
I liked
I guess so.
What's the one where they were in is it Dancing Through Life?
What's your favourite song?
Apart from, you can't say Defying Gravity.
I was pushing back tears when she, bro, I can't lie to you. I cannot lie to you. That scene from when she picks up the broom, bro, that's easily my favorite. That's easily my favorite song on it. But I really,
I could cry. Do you know what about that scene? About that whole sequence, that whole 13, 14 minute sequence, it's the silence in between the conversation. Oh, Elfie, you're trembling. She goes to get the cloth and it's just quiet and there's no words, and Cynthia's crying all the time throughout the whole film, and it makes you want to cry.
Yeah. And then in that moment, in that last 20 minutes is when she's finally reassured of herself as a person, and she's finally like taking back control of her. Do you know what? If you guys can see I'm a villain, I will be a villain. And I really like that.
That was cold.
I need to go back watch it
again.
Not even just in films. I need to go back watch it in the musical, man, because that is. But
you know what is the feeling the movie captured? I don't think the theatre version captures it quite as well. Like the isolation Elphaba feels, they really captured that in the film. Like in the theatre, it doesn't feel as like dark or as like isolating.
Yeah.
I feel like there's definitely a distinct difference.
Well, there's obvious reasons for that. Obviously with film, it's less about tits and teeth and more about the raw emotion acting in your face. So the camera is here.
Yeah, you
in
zoom in.
Your seats can be back there. You're not going to see what's happening on their face. But I can assure you that good musical theatre performers actually do act on stage.
Yeah.
You just can't see the face, the visuals as much.
Yeah.
You can hear it in their voice and the way they deliver the lines in the song. But obviously in a film version, especially because it was just 2 hours plus of the first half of the act. So you got to tell the whole story. Whereas in a musical version, 2.5 hours, you have to tell act 1
and
act
2.
2,
yeah.
which is stress. So
in the film, they allow you to hold space more than they do in the theatre show, essentially.
This hold space has really become something.
Oh, bro, I love it. I love it, really.
But the only annoying thing I find, like, I love the new version, but I'm so used to the old version that when I'm singing along, I don't know the correct pauses. So I'll start singing where it's like, too soon.
But that's the difference with like when directors and stuff want to do musical adaptations, musical film adaptations of a musical. Sorry, not everything that is gospel on stage works for film.
Yeah,
true.
You know what I mean? Why do you think that is? Like, why do you think they have to adapt certain things that we're used to heighten it on screen?
It really depends on the particular scenes. Like, for example, we film, you get to get away with quite a lot of things, and you get to, like, obviously with the musical, the main part is the singing and acting, but with the film, you get to add more background music in the background. You're allowed to have more time to have silence because you get to appreciate the actual cinema of it. While in theatre, you don't get that. You don't get that pause.
That train was magnificent.
The train,
yeah,
on the way there.
Yeah, in the theatre, I don't think there was a train.
No.
There wouldn't be. It'll be some sort of fake train. But again, it also allows you to break up and take you away from the musical element, so you appreciate it a bit more when it comes back. You get to be away from the actors a little bit more. You can't do that in a theatre show. You can't do that in a musical. It's two different platforms, and you appreciate for different reasons. Like, I would always appreciate acting in a theatre show more than I ever will in the cinema. More so, always.
You can only do one take.
Always. I just feel like
I know what you mean.
There's a level of rawness within theatre because there will always be, you could always make mistakes. And I think the imperfections of a theatre show makes it more perfect for me.
Makes it perfect for you. It's fucking shit for us. Oh my God. You guys would never know the mistakes that we make.
Yeah.
But we all know it.
I know, it bugs you guys more. But what I like is that even when you see it, is that being able to adapt in that circumstance. Because again, I wanted to watch a theatre show called By the Fruits in Theatre 503.
Oh, this is quite a small theatre.
Yeah, it's 2 actors, and they were performing as 2 characters that were in relationships, toxic relationships, and so forth.
Is it just a film? The cast is just the boy. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you might even know the guy because everyone knows him. I can't remember his name.
I know what you're talking about.
What's the film called?
It's called By the Fruits. It was at Theatre 503. But yeah, that show was really intimate, and what worked so well was the chemistry and them 2 bouncing off each other. It felt like a game of tennis when you're going back and forth. You can get that in cinema, of course you can, but I don't feel like it's as potent, is as raw, and is as natural in comparison to theatre. I've always preferred acting in theatre over acting in film or TV. And I've always said, like, a person that's great at theatre can do Hollywood. I don't think everybody that's great at Hollywood can do theatre show. I really love this person, Tom Holland. I think he's great in Hollywood films. I never went to watch Romeo and Juliet only because I've heard of the reviews, and I wasn't trying to spend £300 on it. From what I've heard, his acting in Romeo and Juliet wasn't great. It was okay, and that didn't surprise me at all. But when you have actors like, for example, like Denzel, actors like pretty much everybody in Succession, pretty much quite a few people from industry as well, they all have history and backgrounds of working in theatre.
Yeah.
And I feel like that sharpens your skills in a way that Hollywood can't.
Yeah.
And I feel there's a level of rawness when it comes to acting in theatre, so on and so forth. But yeah, that's just me.
I agree.
It's like Sharon D. Clarke. She's one of the very few actors that I know who can cross over into TV, into film, and into musicals. And there's another woman.
I'm really bad with names.
For me,
Hannah Hannah Waddingham.
Okay.
Hannah Waddingham. So she's someone who...
Let me say something, yeah?
What?
I'm going to go a bit lefty right now, yeah?
No.
I personally am not a milkman in the slightest.
Okay.
I do not. It's not for me.
Fair.
what does that mean?
But she's good milk.
Oh,
But black is always my thing.
Of course.
But Hannah, 'cause bro,
Yeah.
Omar Johnson, you're gonna have to forgive me for this one.
Talk your shit. Talk your shit.
But yeah, she's in theatre as well,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Of course she is. You can just tell there's just a difference in terms of like, I do feel like people that are great at theatre, there's a quality difference in comparison to people who have never done theatre. And that's why I believe British actors, like if you go pound for pound, like person for person, are better than American actors because we grew up on theatre. Like even we had drama class regardless what school you went to.
that's true.
And I feel like we just have more of a structure and issue when it comes to like theatre and drama in comparison to our American peers. Why I believe that British actors are better than American actors.
Why do you think they hate us so much?
Oh yeah,
You come over and you steal our jobs.
stealing their jobs, do work harder.
But most of us are like triple threats, or we've had experience in a certain skill, especially when it comes to singing and stuff like that. Like, and
I find a lot of Americans, it's just they wake up one day, oh my God, I want to make it in LA, and off they go and think
it happens for them. It happens for them. Obviously, like Cynthia Erivo. So people don't know. People think Wicked is Cynthia's breakout film.
Colour Purple.
Colour Purple was at the Chocolate Mania Factory, I think in 2012, and she played the lead actress Celie, the lead character Celie. Have you guys read the book as well?
I haven't read
in
the
school.
book. No.
Okay, I read it in school. Have you seen the old film?
Yeah,
with Whoopi Goldberg
it's
and
quite
Oprah
sad,
Winfrey.
isn't it?
Very
I
There's
think
another version that came out last year as well.
that's
the
why I didn't
musical
watch it. It was
adaptation of
sad.
A musical film adaptation of it. So, which is based on what Cynthia did and what I did with my show on tour. And
you did the Colour Purple
on tour, yeah.
Really?
So, and I played Mister, which is great.
Really?
Yeah. I look like a big boy, but I can act like a man, honey. That's what actors do.
That's it. Well, I want to ask you a few questions, but carry on.
Well, that's fine. So obviously she played Celie, and it's so funny because one of the producers were like, "Would you do this on Broadway?" And she said, "Yeah." And she didn't believe that this was going to happen, and it happened. She went to Broadway opposite Jennifer Hudson.
Yeah.
To play the role on Broadway, and that is what catapulted her into stardom. And her first film was Widows. Did you watch Widows?
No, I
with
didn't.
Viola Davis.
I know a film, but I never watched it. Yeah.
I watched it. The film was okay.
Yeah.
Like it was good. Like it was cool. But obviously, seeing someone who grew up in musicals and theatre like Cynthia did, I was nervous for her. Like, what is she gonna bring to the big screen? And she was actually really good.
Yeah.
And from then, she's been doing not even little stuff. She's been doing like good films, feature films. She was in Pinocchio as the fairy. But Wicked was the perfect opportunity for her to show, yes, I'm an actress, but I can sing my ass off.
Yeah.
And you're going to see all the talents that I've honed from the UK.
Yeah.
She smashed it.
UK, 38 as well.
Yeah, still
38.
young. She's
Still
a
young, but
performer. She's a proper performer. How did you feel about when you heard Wicked was coming into film? How did you feel about it?
I was excited.
Because you love Wicked.
I love Wicked. I was excited. I was like, I can't wait.
But it's interesting because obviously I'm not a theatre kid. Alex is very much a theatre kid.
I'm not.
You're not a theatre kid?
No.
How the fuck are you not a theatre kid?
I fell into theatre in
Tell me about it.
in university.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't. I was never really.
We spoke about this. We didn't really like. I didn't grow up going to the theatre or like doing creative arts on a Saturday or whatever.
I'd always do drama school, like drama classes in like my youth centre, and I'd do like a musical in secondary school.
Yeah.
And I'd always like to sing. I've loved to sing all my life. I love to sing. I love to act. I love to dance. But I didn't. And I've watched musicals, but it never clicked for me that musical theatre was its own thing.
Yeah.
Until university.
Okay.
And even then, I hated it. So it was one of those things. I just fell into it. I didn't grow up with it.
That's really surprising to me.
I'm always anxious when film adaptations of musicals come to the big screen because sometimes they're fucking shit.
Yeah.
You don't know how to translate a musical for film lovers. When I heard Cynthia and obviously Ari were in it and Jeff Goldblum, who's amazing by the way in anything he does, and Michelle Yeoh, I thought, okay, they're trying to really ground this into an acting and performing masterclass. And then Jonathan Bailey, he's worked on many West End shows.
It was
Bridgerton.
Yeah, so say that again, sorry?
It was kind of disappointing.
Okay.
You was... Yeah, it's the biggest disappointment in the film for me.
I think the main focus was Galinda and Elphaba.
Yeah, of course. But even like, he wasn't bad. Don't get me wrong, he wasn't bad. But because there's not much about Wicked that I can complain about. But if there's one thing I would complain about,
is him.
Is Jonathan Bailey. I think one, he was a bit too old.
He doesn't give me Fiyero vibes. I think his name was what kind of he brought to the film.
Yeah.
His acting wasn't bad, but he wasn't a standout character.
He wasn't, but when even outside of Ariana and Cynthia, like you got Michelle Yeoh. I think like her performance was really good. Peter Dinklage as what's the name?
I can't forget the character, but I know you're talking about.
But yeah, I feel like everybody's performance was really good. Like I think like everybody gave at least a 7.5. Well, for like Jonathan Bailey was like a 6.56.
Do you feel like he was just hired because of Bridgerton, the Bridgerton hype?
Maybe, I don't know.
Next door kind
That's
of.
what I'm saying. I think he brought his fame with him. That's what he added to the cast. His acting wasn't groundbreaking, but it was alright.
Like you can argue and say that Michelle Yeoh was there because of Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Nah, but her performance was...
her performance was good.
It won Oscars.
Yeah, her performance was good. So Jonathan being there because of his past work is fine. It's like you work to get to the position where you should be given more favour and more grace because you got experience in that in the past. I just think they could have casted that a bit better. And obviously knowing what's going to happen in part 2, that's probably the most concerning part for me because I feel that's a big part of part 2. Did you
feel chemistry between him and... I didn't feel any chemistry between them whatsoever.
No.
I didn't.
Him and Bridgerton, he gives Butch. He not
Girl,
Butch.
use the correct terms.
I haven't watched Bridgerton.
He doesn't portray himself as a homosexual man because he is an actor. He's acting as a straight man. In Wicked is quite a flamboyant musical anyway.
Yeah.
But for me, what I saw, only because I just know both of their personal lives, I was a bit like, I don't really feel the connection because I know you're both queer and it's beautiful to watch queer representation on the screen. But then also, does Elphaba have a sexuality? She's a green witch.
Yeah.
So what is it? I did get the chemistry between Jonathan Bailey and Ari though.
In the very first scene they had together.
Yeah, that was good. I was like, oh, this is cute. Yeah. But I think the chemistry between obviously Jonathan and Cynthia was it
fell a bit flat for me.
But is that because of one or the other or both? Because you didn't like Jonathan's performance.
Yeah, I think it's more on Jonathan, and the reason I say that particularly for the relationship with him and Elphaba, because with him and Ariana, it made sense because both of them are kind of the energy was more what's the word I'm looking for?
Airy fairy,
more aggressive, like with each other. And that kind of mixed the match with Elphaba. She can't be that person. That's not within her character. So it's up to Jonathan Bailey to carry those scenes, to carry that level of chemistry. And I don't think he did a great job. I don't think Cynthia done anything wrong because she's meant to play somebody that's inexperienced, a bit more coy, and he should have been. I don't know. the chemistry should have came from him more, if that makes sense. But with him and Ariana Grande, it made sense that them two were feeding off each other because of who they are as characters. But with Elphaba, it should have been more him than her, and he wasn't enough, in my opinion. But yeah.
We'll see what happens in part 2.
I think it's going to be great.
So at the Golden Globes, Wicked lost out to Emilia Perez for Best Musical or Comedy in Film.
Yeah.
And in that film, it's Selena Gomez. Oh, what's the other woman's girl?
The one she's in Marvel films.
There is a singing sequence in the film. I think there's quite a bit of singing in the film. And someone said it sounded like ChatGPT came up with the lyrics. And I listened to it and I was like, what is it? It was like, I want to get surgery. You can have surgery. I want to be a man. We'll make you a man. I want a penis. It was shit.
Yeah.
And then in comparison to Wicked, who has a very big score and everything is so
And they
intricate.
sung it live.
Exactly.
They sung it live.
Exactly. And they lost out to Emilia Perez.
Yeah.
At the Golden Globes. Now, my problem is when it comes to probably these award seasons, and this has always been a thing, musicals or musical films are never taken seriously amongst the straight actors or straight film buffs who just want to see acting. They don't want to hear singing or any of that. And it's actually quite frustrating. Obviously, have you spoken about that on your podcast before?
We're spoken about musicals because we had Mean Girls that came out last year. Bisola loves it. I think that was like a top 3.
That was right.
Yeah, exactly. Tell her that. I enjoyed it, but I think like in general, because obviously musicals are camp and they always get a bit shunned from people that don't necessarily want to give those type of films the light it deserves. Because I thought Mean Girls is a good film. I don't think like it's groundbreaking, but I think it's a good film that most people will like. And when it first came out, people were talking about they're leaving the cinema. People couldn't sit there and watch it because it's a musical. But what did you expect if you watched the trailer? I haven't watched Emilia Perez, and I don't plan to watch it because I've heard too many people review it and talking about how disrespectful it is to people from Mexico.
Oh, really?
Apparently,
well.
It trans people. Apparently, it's really, really disrespectful film. So I don't ever plan to watch it because I don't want to give my time and energy to those type of films. I do hope that films like Wicked, with Cynthia performance and Ariana Grande's performance, and just what the film is and what the film represents, it will open the door a bit more for musicals to be taken a bit more seriously. And like in general, just like with films, even just outside of musical, a lot of the times the same type of films win, like films that are biopics. Films that usually have a white male lead. If it's a romance film, it's always be a white woman and a white man. A straight romance film. It's always like the typical so on and so forth. And these things do take time, unfortunately, because the people that hold the power to make the decisions of what films get promoted, make decisions what films get voted for, make decisions what films win these awards are typically old white men. So unfortunately, that's the world that we live in. But I always say never to take awards and award season too seriously. I know some actors and performers, producing directors live by it, but I don't think it should ever be a standard for what quality is with film and TV. Because having watched Emilia Perez, but for that to win over Wicked, kind of bizarre to me. But I guess you bringing up is probably something that I'll talk about at some point soon, because the Oscars are coming up and that should ideally win something.
But obviously there are other films where the underscoring and the popular music influences whether someone watches a film or watches a TV show, like Power.
Yeah.
Power is about like a gangster-esque, it's a gangster-esque type TV show where there's criminal activity and they're from the hood because, this is a big rich town. Wow. You know what it is instantly.
Yeah.
So the demographic that will watch it will most likely be our demographic, black people, or people who are on the streets dealing drugs and shooting other people, and you think you're a hood man and you think you're big, but you're not. But like, these musical underscorings always bring in a certain type of audience, but how do you think it's the performance that people give and the content of the show that makes it big, or does the music have a part to play in it? That's a loaded question.
I think if I'm answering it correctly, whether it's the music that draws people into the show or whether it is the show itself that makes the song like become bigger than what it is, would the intro to Power be as well known if not so many people were drawn to the TV show? I think it's definitely more of, like, for example, Will Smith's intro for Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Everybody pretty much knows lyric for lyric. And I think one of the main reasons people know it for lyric is because they like the show. They go and watch the show and they hear it from the beginning to end, and they sing along and it catches on. I don't care for Power. I will never sit.
Oh.
Not one bit. Don't care for Power whatsoever.
Oh, did you like it, Tops?
I thought it was alright. The ending was a bit rubbish, but for its time, it was good. Would I go back and watch it again? Probably not. Am I going to watch the sequels? No.
No, I ain't watched the sequels. My brothers watch the sequels. They love the sequels.
Yeah, it's just not. Just don't. Like, I've seen like scenes. It's like
it's a decent show.
It's a decent watch.
Fair,
like if you're into that like drug, crime, kingpin kind of stuff,
I'm
it's
into
alright.
these shows.
I will say at times the acting was a bit.
Yeah.
Season 1, the acting was a bit. Then they got better. But in answer to your question, I think it's a little bit of both. I think historically people have seen how well a good soundtrack or a good musical score can actually make your show iconic. Like you said, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Like Will Smith was a rapper, then he went into acting, and I think that whole intro, I don't think he set out to think, oh my God, I'm going to make the Fresh Prince, but because it was so iconic, it's done a good job.
Yeah.
And then for films that have come out recently, so the Spider-Man,
Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, so
I watched it.
So I don't watch cartoons, and I had no intention of watching it.
That's why I
But you watch
watched
anime.
But
oh yeah, we do watch anime. So
yeah, but
Yeah.
anime's not the same as
no, it's very
a cartoon.
different. Oh, look,
Like
I
it's
know,
not the
but-
same as like Spider-Man the cartoon.
Please watch.
But wait,
Into the Spider-Verse.
I have. But let me land.
I'm sorry.
I wasn't going to watch it, but when
Yeah.
I heard the soundtrack for it,
Okay.
who produced it,
Who did?
the artists that were on it, Metro
I've-
Boomin.
Oh,
He's a good producer.
Mhm.
The artists that were on it, I think there was one song featuring Coyle Ray, Self Love.
Okay.
For me, that was so catchy, and I was like, okay, maybe let me go and watch this film.
Really?
Yeah. And I think as well, when they did the Barbie film as well, they got quite a few, like, they really promoted the Barbie songs.
Yeah.
And again,
Nicki Minaj.
exactly.
Billie Eilish.
So that made me want to go and watch the Barbie film as well. So I
Really?
think it does work both ways.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't think there's ever been a time where the music has ever wanted me to go watch a film. I think the only other
Really?
example I can think of is Get Rich or Die Trying. 50 Cent's film.
But
But it's only because
brilliant film.
that's a good film.
Yeah.
It's got Ashley Waters in it as well.
Mhm.
But that's because you are invested, because obviously you listened to the album.
50
I read
Cent.
50 Cent. I like the album. You're invested in the story of 50 Cent through his music.
That's
and
kind of like 8 Mile.
yeah,
Eminem.
yeah, kind of. No,
But I think that's
exactly.
different though, because those are musicians that have gone into acting.
Mhm.
So they're like basically like, through my music, we're going to tell a story.
Yeah.
I think it's different when you've got a film and they heavily invest in a good soundtrack to try and entice people into the film.
Into the film.
Yeah.
What other example do you think would give? Because I think it's a bit difficult for me to say a soundtrack is there to entice people to go and watch the film. For me personally.
I think it's a new thing. I don't think that's what they've been doing. I think people have seen how well having
it
a
does.
good musical score does. Now it's becoming a thing.
What has been some of your favorite musical scores in films recently?
Black Panther.
Yeah, I was gonna say Black Panther.
Black Panther.
Mm.
They heavily invested.
Yeah.
Understand.
The album that the GOAT made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's
And I think they got Kendrick to produce everything.
Yeah, the GOAT.
The goal.
The GOAT.
Go.
Oh, the GOAT.
Greatest of all time.
Headlining Super Bowl this year, baby.
No, let me not say, because I was about to say something about Kendrick before the internet comes to me again.
No, God. Speak your truth.
You're speaking in front of the wrong person.
Yeah, we love Kendrick. Woo.
No, that's fine. I want to hear your opinion. Go on, man. Speak your truth.
We probably have the same opinion. I don't care for him.
and that's fine. And that's fine.
I've tried to listen to him.
Yeah.
I can't get into
and
it.
I get it. And the thing is, I'm not someone who's gonna go back and listen to the history of his origin story, because I feel like a lot of his lyrics is storytelling. It's actually quite intelligent, but it's also relevant to what was happening at the time. I think you have to be quite switched on to listen to his music. It's not just something you can listen to passively. It's quite like, he's quite articulate.
Yeah.
He's like a poet through his music, which is fair enough.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah. What was the song that came out? They Not Like Us. I like that one.
Fair enough.
That was a good song. But I guess he did that purposely as a commercial song. Most of his musics or his songs aren't commercial songs.
It's just because he's very much like this every time he raps and every time he talks. I can't stand it.
There's so many people that hate the way you sound.
I can't do it.
I'm not mad at that. Also, he raps really fast. Like, I can't keep up. I can't keep up.
Slow down.
Okay.
It's too quick.
Do you listen and like have the lyrics up at the same time and you're like, oh wow, good bar, Kendrick?
Do you do that? Because I don't really listen to rap. Do people do that? Like,
I do
read through the lyrics as you're listening to the song.
No, not if it's like the first time I listen to it.
Okay.
If it's first time, because music is there to be enjoyed, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's the most basic level. So if I don't enjoy the song, I'm not gonna care for it afterwards.
Yeah.
But I do go and read, like when I'm listening to music, read the lyrics. Because again, I feel like rap specifically is the type of music that rap is very different to quite a lot of genres, because it's very like the words and wordplay. Well, the rap I listen to are really important.
I love wordplay, but you have to be very like...
Yeah.
And for me personally, what made me fall in love with rap the most is the storytelling element of it. Because Nas is like the first rap I listened to, and all these, pretty much every single verse is a story in itself. And Kendrick, I know you guys don't care for Kendrick.
I'm not mad at him.
It's not
It's just the way everyone would die for him. I'm like, what is he written?
Let
what
me,
is he written? That's
let me tell you
educate
why.
us. Like,
I actually wanted to ask you a question. As like you said, we're pop girlies. If you were to introduce rap to us, what rap song would you tell us to go home and listen to?
Rap in general. Before I answer that question, it's so funny. Me and my boy Gaz and John done this the other day.
That's why I asked you the question.
Oh, you were there.
That's why I asked you the question.
Does he know?
No, he doesn't know.
Okay, so we done this thing on Boxing Day where me and my two boys were introducing one of our favorite artists to each other. For example, I introduced Gaz and John to Dolce. Even though they know of Dolce, there's like I'll pick a song from Dolce that each of them will really like, and they listen to it and then see if they like the artist and go back to it. John done Jacquees. He picked a song for Jacquees for me because I don't really listen to Jacquees, and he done it for Gaz, so on and so forth. And I thought that was really interesting way to introduce people to music. So to answer your question, any rap in general, to get someone into rap music, I don't know. I think Drake is such a easy gateway to rap because he's essentially pop.
I was going to say, I don't see him as a rapper. To me, he's a pop artist.
Drake is essentially a pop artist. And I know people, when I say stuff like that, or when people say stuff like that, people see it as a slight. It's not a slight, it's just who he is.
He makes popular
Drake
music.
is for vibes.
It's for vibes.
Yeah.
It's not even, so when I say, yes, it makes popular music. For me, what pop is why somebody takes a genre or a niche of music at its purest form, takes that, waters it down, and makes it as palatable to as many people as possible, and releases it back. I feel like that's what Drake does with all genres rap. Like
100%.
With those like rapping, the way people used to rap in Atlanta, he took that, watered down, give it back to us.
Yeah.
The Weeknd, he had his style of music. Take Care. He took the Weeknd sound, watered it down, give it back to us. He done that with Afro beats. He does that with every genre. That's why I see Drake as pop. That is what pop is. Yeah. It's like you take popular music and you water it down to make it more palatable. So I think Drake is an easy rapper to introduce people into music to. If I was to introduce somebody to Kendrick, I'll probably point them to Damn, because I think Damn is the most palatable album. Because it's got his most commercial songs on it. But I'm gonna. And I know we're talking about other stuff, but I want to talk about Kendrick right now, yeah?
Go ahead.
I'm going to tell you why. So there's a song called Fear.
You guys just lock up.
That's fine. There's a song called, and again, I love stories. I love storytelling. There's a song called Fear on Damn by Kendrick Lamar. I think it's like track 7. And with Fear, the the story of Fear is essentially what Kendrick feared the most in 3 different stages of his life: as a 7-year-old, a 17-year-old, and as a 27-year-old. When he's 7 years old, the first verse, he's talking through the perspective of his mum, and his fear of punishment. So his mum saying, "I'll beat your ass if you do this. I'll beat your ass if you do this. You better not tell your dad." Blah blah, so on and so forth. In the second verse, he's talking about the fear of violence as a 17-year-old in Compton, saying that he's probably going to die if he does this. He's probably going to die, so on and so forth. And the last verse, he's talking about his fear of losing the success that he's had at the age of 27. And what I find is genius to be is that none of his verses, the way his tone and the way he speaks, and I know people don't like his voice and so on and so forth, he changes his voice in every single one of his verse. He changes his rhyming scheme in every single one of his verse. Like the first verse is a very simple rhyming scheme. The second verse, the rhyming scheme becomes a bit more complex. And the final verse, he doesn't repeat any words and it becomes more complex, showcasing like within age and growth, he has matured as a person, has matured lyrically, so on and so forth. And I get it. So for some people, they don't care for stuff like this. I do.
That's interesting.
And I find stuff like this, and I can do that with so many of his songs about so many, because he talks about so many different things. There's an art to his music, and obviously like art is very subjective. People enjoy what they enjoy, but with Kendrick, I can hand on saying that I don't think there's an artist I've ever listened to in my whole life that has put that level of thought into writing, into how music sounds, as especially as a rapper. And that's what I think. Like, there's not an artist that I've ever listened to that's I could put above Kendrick personally. But that's my goal. That's my goal.
I think maybe the thing is I've never done a deep dive into his catalogue. Like,
but if you'd done his journey music, you wouldn't.
Yeah,
but that's why we have this podcast.
Yeah.
It's not just to voice our opinions, it's also to learn.
Yeah.
And also to be more open-minded about other genres that we wouldn't really listen to, or other artists that we wouldn't really listen to as well. I've literally, as you've been talking, I've been literally reading about Fear.
Oh, okay.
Everything you said is spot on.
Yeah.
He's done he's a Kendrick fan. And it's actually, I'm going to listen to it when I get home, or I'm going to the gym after this. I'm going to listen to it because it's interested me. Like it's piqued my interest.
I really, really love that song. It's not even my favorite Kendrick song, but I really,
okay, what's your favorite Kendrick song?
Probably Wesley's Theory. Also, that song, Kendrick talks about the fact that a lot of rappers have been abused and they now internalize that issue to cause issues to other women, to cause issue to children, so on and so forth. Like that album, Mr. Morale itself, is like very much a therapy session. For him especially. Yeah, I love that album. Anyway, that's my goal. Sorry.
All right, so we are going to play a game. We played this game before.
Okay.
But for our guest, Manny, it's just going to be guess the song.
Okay.
So I'm going to play a little snippet of a song and you have to tell me what the song is.
Okay.
But because we're doing movies, this is specifically going to be a movie score.
Okay, I'm really bad at this, but good.
I've picked easy ones. You guys are going to get them, right?
Star Wars.
There we go.
Oh, okay. I'm locked in now. I'm locked in.
Okay, so that was the warm-up. Doesn't count.
Oh, no, give him the point. It's fine.
All right, fine. You're too kind.
No, because I'll catch up.
And you will probably beat me as well.
Okay. All right, are you ready for the next one?
Yeah. All right, I'm locked in. Can you put it louder, please?
This is as loud as it goes.
It's a Bodyguard. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, this is bad.
Does it sound familiar?
It does. It feels like a Christmas song.
Yeah. It's not Love Actually.
It's not Home Alone.
Can you give us a hint?
It's definitely a Christmas song, right?
No. It's got animals in it, the film.
It's not Lion King.
It's not Babe.
No, it's not Madagascar. Toy Story.
No. Animals.
I actually don't know.
Are you sure?
Oh, Jurassic Park?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No! You heard me go You heard me go No! You heard me go I was about to say it.
I thought you didn't.
Fuck's sake.
That's okay.
That's bad.
1-1.
That is bad from me. Of course it's Jurassic Park. Thank you.
This one's a bit hard.
Oh, Marvel, MCU.
Keep listening.
Superman.
It's not Star Trek, is it? Is it a superhero film?
Mm-mm.
I'm stumped then.
Keep listening.
Star Wars.
Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Oh, I never would have got that one. Never would have got that one.
I only got it from the storytelling. Okay, cool. So it's 2-2.
I don't know if you get this one.
Coraline.
What sad ass film is this?
It's a sad film.
It's not Roots.
Is it this film?
Think
I think what?
World War II.
The boy with the striped pajamas.
All right, neither of you get this point. Schindler's List. That was a hard one.
I don't know.
yeah,
Sorry.
I haven't seen it in like 20 years.
Sorry.
All right, this is going to be the tiebreaker.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes, sir. Mission Impossible.
Fuck's sake.
Oh,
You know, I
Manny
thought
won.
Spy Kids, so you would have won that point
Spy
anyway.
Kids.
Yeah, you would have won that.
So that was 3-2 to Manny.
I did well.
You
You
did
did.
well.
I did
You
well.
did
Well
do
done.
Well done, Greg.
Well done. Thank you, Topsy, for being our brilliant host.
Yeah, that was great, man.
But anyway, we've come to the end of the episode.
That went too quick.
Bare quick, innit?
Where can they find you?
Ignorant Edema on all platforms. PCS Podcast, you can find out on Instagram, on TikTok. We now finally got a separate YouTube channel for that as well.
Oh, lovely.
So go on, run it up.
Yay.
Post-credit scene, check them out.
And where can they find us, Topsy?
Nowhere. Joking. You can find, to be fair, if you're watching this, you probably found us. Have you ever thought about that?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe they found the Sing the Beat, but
Yeah.
individual.
Oh, yeah.
That's true.
So you can find me at Aratopsy on all platforms, ARATOPSY.
Alex Okawa on all platforms, ALEXOKOA, and obviously Sync the Beat Pod, as you know. And yeah, Manny, thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me, man. Really, really appreciate it.
Oh, but
Peace.